Hi, I'm Julie Eddleman. I am the Chief Commercial Officer at DoubleVerify. I am here with Laura Desmond in beautiful Cannes, France. Laura is the Chief Executive Officer at Smartly, on the board of Smartly and DoubleVerify and Adobe, and the former CEO of Starcom MediaVest Group. So thank you so much for being here, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks for hosting in such a nice location.
Absolutely. So the first question, we're going to just talk a little bit about women in leadership. And the first question is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you had as being a CEO or have as being a CEO, and how did you overcome those challenges?
You know, it's interesting, as I think about my career, I've been a CEO for about as long as I can remember, because I was actually pretty young when I was first tossed the keys to the car to go run Latin America, which had zero revenue and left it at about 50 million. But I think where I really came of age was when we met in 2003, when I came to New York to run MediaVest. And I think reflecting on that, what was sort of interesting is, for a long time in that period, I was the youngest in the room. And so when you're trying to actually take responsibility, lead people, do the right thing, get others to have confidence in you, you have to put age and sometimes experience to the side and just focus on principles of leadership, purpose of leadership, and being a good leader. And that was a little bit difficult for me, I think, in the early days. I think my tendency was to always just run to it and maybe even outrun my own team, and maybe sometimes even outrun my own clients. But as I got more comfortable, I began to realize that working through people was actually the best, most powerful thing I think I could do as a leader.
Awesome. And speaking of the 20 years that we've known each other, at that time I was working at Procter & Gamble, running North America media. It was an incredible role. And not only were you obviously the CEO of the company that was in charge of spending $2 billion for Procter & Gamble, but also one of my biggest supporters, advocates, and absolutely no question, the person who has probably pushed me the most in my life. So I appreciate everything that Laura has done for me, and we have a really long history. So the next question is about promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially around women. You've done that your entire career. So can you just talk a little bit about how you have done that and how you're doing that at Smartly?
Sure. So I'm a big believer in diversity with a capital D. And that means diversity from every part of life and society. And clearly promoting people who have the desire to do it, the ability to do it, the talent to do it. But sometimes you can have desire and ability and the talent, and you still can't get there because people haven't given you a chance. So at Starcom MediaVest Group and Publicis Group, I had a very diverse team. Half of them were women. I think 20 to 30% were people of color. I've continued that in everything else I've done, whether it be advocating for diversity on the board of Adobe, advocating for diversity on the board of DoubleVerify, and then again, operating again with Smartly. About half of my team at Smartly is women. On the extended leadership team, people of color. I think that we cannot underestimate the power of bringing different, diverse points of view to the table. A whole brain gets to better answers, more effective answers. And I think that in a lot of regards, when you're too comfortable, that's when you need to get people around the table that push you and force you to think differently. And again, that's diversity with a capital D for me.
Cool. Our board at DoubleVerify is over half women. We have an incredible board that gives us great advice, pushes us, and also just gets along extremely, extremely well.
It does.
So if you had to give one piece of advice to women kind of up and coming in the industry today, what would you tell them?
I think really you can be what you want to be. What I see, it's a little different now. I'm not, the youngest person in the room anymore.
Nope. I'm looking around. Nope. We're not the youngest people anymore.
We are not, maybe not even this entire yacht row. What do you say? I am fascinated by what tends to block women. Why they think they can't go for it, what's holding them back. I mean, we choose our own choice ultimately, but I feel like part of my success was I just didn't see boundaries. I just didn't see barriers. I just kept going. And so I want to help other women feel like they can do the same.
Yeah, Laura is a dreamer with a capital D and has enabled a lot of dreams for a lot of people over our 20 years that we've known each other. So the last question, name a current favorite girl boss and why?
So that's easy. So you know I'm Iowa, you're Purdue.
Boiler up.
Big Ten all the way. So for me, one of the most thrilling experiences of the last year is watching the Iowa women's basketball team led by Caitlin Clark. So that would be Caitlin. Absolutely just slay it. A generational player, such confidence, but backs it up. And what I love about her is actually she just doesn't get there because she's talented. She gets there because she works hard.
I love Caitlin Clark. Love that answer. Laura, thank you so much for doing this today. We really appreciate it, and have a great rest of the can.
Thanks, Julie. You too. Thank you for doing this.